Hi, and welcome back. I hope you had your great Thanksgiving. We did. We had lots of food, played Cards Against Humanity, a little bit of Uno, and had a wonderful time. This week's episode is going to be baked apples and Mexican chocolate. Things that we had that I forgot to film, but I'm going to make some more. I got some more of those containers. I got some more other containers and did a lot of organizing, throwing out, rescuing my jars, but I still have a lot more to go. Still working on it, but I am getting organized. A little bit more organized in the small shelf. Still have some ways to go. And my spices, that cleaned out a lot. There's my label printer. But I got 60 of these and filled every single one of those up with something different. Hopefully I'll be able to remove these shelves eventually and build something that can be like a wraparound to be able to put all those in. That's my ultimate goal. Absolutely no one will accuse me of having bland food. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, you can core these out and put butter in them, spices and stuff. I tend to peel these, slice them up, lay them flat, pie style. Still baked apples, but without the crust. Let's go ahead and peel every single one of these. Save the peels and the cores, because you can use those to make apple scrap vinegar. It's not apple cider vinegar because you're not pressing the apples for the juice to make the vinegar, but it is just about as good. I do this every year. I've also have an apple press that I purchased. Eventually I'm going to put it together, and we're going to go ahead and press the rest of the apples that I do have, as well as whenever it's ready, and hopefully April, the soy sauce. Now, I know there's a lot of new people on my channel. I make my own ingredients. I have to. I have dietary restrictions that prevent me from buying stuff from the store for the most part. We're going to go ahead and slice these up real thin, put them in the dish, just like that, ish. And if you want to see how I make it, I've done this twice so far. I've got in year one, me making the mash for the soy sauce, and then squeezing it on about a year later. And then I did it again. It hasn't been a year yet. It's only been about 6 months. And I now have what's called white miso. Now, the white miso is the beginning stages of what I have. It's not quite released all the liquid yet to press out, but you still can have that flavor. And after you're done, take your cores and all your skins, stuff it in a jar. Now, for 1 quart of vinegar, or potential vinegar, I'm going to add 1 cup of white sugar. What the sugar does is it helps ferment and make into wine, because the natural bacteria that is on the skins of the apple will help it ferment. The bacteria will eat the sugar, turn it into wine. And what happens to wine whenever you sit it out for too long? and turns into vinegar. That's basically what we're doing. You kind of want to get it all up in there. And then you're going to add cold water, put a lid on it, put it on your counter for about a month, and keep an eye on it. If you want, you can put something on the top of this. I usually use a regular sandwich bag to keep the floaties down, but only after you put the water in there. Make sure all the floaties are under the water. Put a lid on it. Not too tight, just really, really loose, just like that. And let it sit. And you'll actually see it transform. It will bubble. It may bubble over, so you may want to put this in a bowl or something. And leave it for a month. After the month is done, you're going to strain all the liquid out of here. You can compost the skins and the cores, and then let the rest of the liquid ferment for about another 3 to 4 months. Just keep on tasting it after a while. Eventually it'll turn into vinegar. Now that we have everything, all 3 of those apples in here, it will shrink and it will develop its own juice. But in the meantime, we're going to add enough butter to cover the top a little bit. Don't know if I'm going to use the entire stick. I did with the one that I had, but I had a lot more apples. You kind of want to dot it a little bit. Just like that. One more. There we go. That was about half a stick. Now, I like nutmeg. Just a little bit though, because the nutmeg is powerful. Definitely some ground cinnamon. Some ground cloves. Just a tiny pinch. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And some ground allspice. For this, it'd be about 1/4 teaspoon in total of each of these, max. You kind of want to eyeball it here. And then, because you have a lot of this sweet, salt actually brings the sweet out a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and give a little bit of a sprinkle here of salt, but not too much. You notice I'm not adding any sugar to this because the apple is sweet enough to where it can, you know, do its own thing. We're going to go ahead and cover this up with foil. And we're going to put it in the oven at 350 until it looks done. I'll go ahead and give you the time for this one because it varies depending on how many apples you use, and it varies on how big your pan is. While that's in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make some drinking chocolate. Mexican chocolate. I have vanilla, coffee chocolate, and cinnamon chocolate. Now, traditionally, cinnamon chocolate is what you're going to use. That's the stuff that you buy in the store to be able to make your chocolate. If you can't find Mexican chocolate, you can use regular chocolate and add spices. We're going to add a lot of things. Cinnamon is already in the chocolate, so that's one thing that we don't have to worry about. Do apologize, I am losing my voice again. Now the prep for this is actually pretty simple. you need corn flour. This is cornmeal. I'm going to grind it up and it's going to become corn flour. We are going to be using 1/4 of a cup of corn flour per 1 disc of chocolate. This is a 2.7 ounce package, and it has 2 discs in here. And we're going to use 1/4 cup, and we're going to grind this up nice and fine. Now, if you're not able to find corn flour or cornmeal, you can use rice. You can use wheat, but the main thing that you do want to do is you want to toast this. You're going to empty this into a pot. This is to thicken it. We're going to toast it and then take it out, and then we're going to use the pot to get everything else done. All right, it's not burnt. Kind of smells like popcorn, but it's not burnt. Get this off the heat real quick and put this into a container to cool. Now that we have that in a bowl cooling, we're going to add 2 cups of water, 1 whole cone of brown sugar. This is natural. This is something that you can get at the Mexican store. I do believe Walmart may have these. You can get them online. I got these from a place called Winco that they just opened up near my sister's house. I bought these just for this. And we are going to let that cook down and melt and dissolve. And this is going to take forever. If you can, go ahead and grate it first, like I didn't. So this is going to take a moment. Now, while this is almost melted, we're going to take some cardamom pods. A good few for this one. If you have decent sized pods, 1, maybe 2. But since these are so small, we do want to put like 3 or 4 in here. Again, a little bit of nutmeg. About 1/4 teaspoon. Whole cloves. Just a pinch. About that much. If you want to add a little bit of spice, you can. I do recommend something like chipotle, or some cayenne pepper, something a little bit smoked, because this is chocolate. Now, if you didn't have the cinnamon flavored chocolate, you can add a cinnamon stick to this and let it marinate as well, but this is going to have enough in it. All right, and this is where you're going to add your chocolate too. We're actually going to add both of the packages that I have and let them melt, because I'm going to make a full batch. And you can break these up any way you wish. And let this melt. And then we'll be right back. All right, so this is all melted. Now you can use a can of sweetened condensed milk, or What I have is dairy-free sweetened condensed coconut milk. We can get these now. You don't have to make it all on our own. I'm going to add that to this. We're going to stir it in. And we're going to add milk of choice. I'm not too sure how much I do have in here, but we're going to add it all and go to the store. I'd say that was about 3 cups. You can add 4 if you wish. I just don't have it. Now you can also add vanilla on here and also a pinch of salt. Just a sprinkle, because the salt does bring out the sweetness. Now if you're on a low or no sodium diet, you do want to omit all the salt that I'm putting in here. And now we go ahead and add in little bits at a time. The corn flour. If you want to, you can get a whisk. In fact, I'm going to get one. And break up all the lumps. What this does is it acts like a thickener. So that's the reason why I said like you can use rice, you can use wheat, you can use corn starch, you can use xanthan gum. Traditionally, it's made with corn. Okay, and this does need to sit and cook for a little bit to be able to have all that corn thicken this up a little bit. So we will be right back. All right, now that we have everything done, get out the winter mug here. Now another thing, that if you don't have any cinnamon, but you've got chocolate, get some of the hot tamale candies. That's going to be cinnamon enough. To make this Mexican chocolate. See how thick it is? And that's because of the corn flour. And here we have these baked apples. Nice and reduced. Now if you wanted this a little bit thick with a little bit of gravy to it, you could have added some cornstarch on top of this. Yeah, I've got enough of corn in the hot chocolate. There we go with the hot chocolate and the nice warm baked apples. You can add some Cool Whip or some whipped topping to this. Go wonderful. All right, so that's it for the cold weather snackies. It is starting to get really cold. It got into the low 40s last night. I know for a lot of you up north, or the 40s, it seems like it's going to be a sauna. Don't come at me. You guys are getting pelted with cold weather, snow, lake effect, everything right now. I understand. Canada is invading, and it is that time of year. That's it for this week. We will go ahead and I'm going to do some research, find out what I can and can't do. I really want to hit that Amish book really fast to be able to see what I can and cannot do in there. Like I said, these are authentic Pennsylvania Dutch recipes that were given to me. I do need to give the books back, so I do need to take pictures of them. I will put them on my Discord. If you were part of my Discord, you can have access to all those. If not, if you're not on my Discord, I will post the link below. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.